Right, number 16. Let's move on. Confidence can be cultivated through good life decisions. Confidence can be cultivated through good life decisions. Now, please remember this. When I use the word confidence, which I've used a number of times throughout today, I'm not talking about brash arrogance. Okay, there's a lot of that in the world. But that's not going to make you a consistent mega achiever year after year in an industry where you need to cultivate people's trust. Now, of course, there may be exceptions to that. You may know an incredibly successful estate agent who is not a very nice person. But I'm here to tell you that that is the exception. I have spent much of my professional career over the last 20 years dealing with estate agents. And I can tell you that despite the reputation that estate agents have, when you get to know a broad sweep of agents, you begin to realize that the most successful estate agents are the complete opposite of that reputation. They are incredible people. Some of the most amazing people that I have had the privilege of getting to know have been estate agents. People I respect, people I would be happy to have in my home with my family. And I've seen many of your names in the chat roll today. You're incredible human beings. And so when I use the word confidence, the kind of confidence that can be cultivated through good life decisions, what I'm referring to is carrying yourself with a sense of dignity in life, knowing that you are able to help people who reach out to you. That's what I'm talking about. A confidence in your own worth. Okay? Now, what is that kind of confidence going to do for you in your business? Why is it important to have that kind of dignity? Okay, another word for it is posture, the way you hold yourself. Okay, now this is one of the greatest truths of psychology and of social interaction. People will naturally respond to you based on how you carry yourself before them. You know that. People will naturally respond to you based on how you carry yourself before them. If you scowl and you look down and your shoulders are hunched and you mumble, people will treat you coldly and they won't respect you. But if you stand with your head held high, your shoulders back, you make eye contact, you smile, people will perceive you as confident and they will treat you with respect. Now, before you get the wrong impression, I am not trying to teach you some technique here. This is not about, okay, I need to remember now, I need to keep my chin up high, I need to make eye contact, I need to put my shoulders back, I need to smile. Okay, this is not some technique I'm teaching you here. This has to come from a transformed life on the inside. It's got to come from the inside out. Because here's the problem, my friends. You won't be able to hide in your body language if you lack confidence. You can't fake it. Okay, so that then leads us to a huge question in life. How can we cultivate that sense of genuine dignity and confidence, which people will respond to with respect and warmth? Okay, now we're going to get a little deep here. And I'm going to share with you what I believe. Okay, I believe that there are three of the greatest keys to feeling the sense of dignity and carrying yourself with confidence. Three of the greatest keys are, first of all, righteousness. Wow, that's an old-fashioned word. Righteousness. I think this was perfectly summarized in a proverb of that wisest man ever to have lived, Solomon, who said this: the wicked flee when no one pursues them, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. So much wisdom in that. You know, people who are always doing something unethical, always cutting corners, always making promises they don't keep, they live with a constant terror of a guilty conscience. They're always looking over their shoulder at who's catching them out. They're always shuffling their feet. I can honestly tell you, guys, I have always tried to run my business completely ethically. And when I have been alerted to something that I've done wrong, I have fixed it immediately. I don't go to bed at night worrying about all sorts of skeletons in my closet. You see, the wicked flee when no one is pursuing them. Every time the phone rings, it's like, is it a client? Is it a lawyer? Is it the tax man? Okay, so there's this ever-present lack of peace from a guilty conscience. But then, excuse me, if you lack righteousness, there is also the constant fear of death. And if you want to live with the kind of manifest peace and confidence that I'm talking about, it has to be genuine. It's been the experience of my life that settling my relationship with God and where I will go for eternity was the most important thing I could ever do. And I'm here to tell you guys, it is the most important thing you can do. Settle your relationship with God and where you're going for eternity. Where will you go when you die? I became convinced that something happened. You say, how did that happen to you? Well, I became convinced that something happened on a hill outside of Jerusalem 2,000 years ago. And when I surrendered to that on the 28th of June, 1998, or better said, when I surrendered to him, my life changed irreversibly. You would not recognize me if you saw me before that. I have totally changed. He saved me. I know I'm forgiven. I know I've been set free from the law of sin and death. And I know when I die, I will not come into judgment, but I have passed from death into life. You say, stop preaching to me. I didn't come here to be preached to. What does this have to do with being a successful estate agent? Everything. Righteousness is a key for true confidence and dignity in life, my friends. Okay, the second thing, I said there's three things. Righteousness. Number two, competence. Okay, confidence is not a trick of the mind. How is it that great sports people, we were watching the Olympics at the moment, how can they function at such an incredibly high level without choking up? How can Handré Pollard kick a 16-meter penalty when it's to win the game and he knows that millions of people are watching him, the hopes of the nation are on his shoulders, and yet he can do it? How? You know why? Because he's kicked that ball tens of thousands of times and he knows he can do it. The harder you work in real estate, the more competent you are going to become as an agent. And competence breeds confidence. And then the last one is discipline. If you want to live a life of dignity and that sense of dignity, that sense of peace, I'm telling you, living a life of discipline is one of the keys to it. The internal self-esteem benefits of discipline are unbelievable. And you know that the opposite is true. When you've gone through a time in your life where you are not disciplined, you're not disciplined with your diet, you're overeating, you're not disciplined with how much you drink, with what you're smoking, with your exercise, with your business, with your relationship, you know that when you know you should be doing something but you're not doing it, you start to feel like a fat slob. Now, maybe some of you have not felt like a fat slob physically, but maybe you felt that in some other way. But when you can get back to a season of your life where you are disciplined and you've got things that you've set, spiritual disciplines that you do every morning, physical disciplines of exercise and your diet, business disciplines of phone calls, family disciplines of a dinner around a table every night, and that you stick to, the more disciplined you live, actually, the more dignity you experience. Discipline breeds dignity. That is a great secret in life, my friends.